Hi, I'm Lisa Covey, Senior Accountant at Acuity powered by Soren. And today we're going to talk about tariffs. And really, we're going to wind up talking about delegation, as you'll see in a second. But as Captain Jean-Luc Picard once said, it's all about the journey.
So let's talk about tariffs. A tariff is an import tax on goods brought into the country that is paid for by you, the importer. I don't know any small business owner, or especially an e-commerce business owner, that enjoys tariffs. They raise cost, they make logistics harder, and they just cause a lot of uncertainty, especially when you have unpredictable tariffs or tariffs that might go up or might go down at an unknown point in the future. And they're just hard to plan for that way. Like, say, do I think tariffs are going to go up in a month? Then I should probably order more inventory now. But if I order more inventory early, where am I going to store that inventory? And how much is it going to cost me to store that extra inventory that I'm storing? So tariffs just make it harder. I don't really have any advice on how to get around tariffs. You could try smuggling. That's not really advice. I don't know how that works. The only smuggling I've ever done is I went in high school, brought apple in my bag through customs, and they're like, "Do you have anything to declare? Like fruit?" I was like, "I don't have any fruit. Nope, nothing to declare." And then I got this, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I have an apple in my backpack right there." Thankfully, it was just an apple. I quick ate it there and tossed it. Not a big deal. But again, there's just really no way to get around tariffs. So I found a common characteristic of small business owners, and especially e-commerce business owners, especially when they're small and just getting started, is to take on tasks. Like all the tasks, you're all hands on deck, and you're all the hands, and you're the deck. So especially when there are hardships like tariffs that are raising your cost or unpredictable tariffs and trying to figure out what to do, the instinct is to do more yourself. And again, I admire this trait, but it is not sustainable in the long run. At some point, you're just taking on too much. Things aren't being done as efficiently, and maybe things start slipping through the cracks. Like maybe you forget to order an inventory item you needed one week because you're so busy doing other things. Or maybe you forgot to invoice customers, so you're not going to get paid when you thought you would originally get paid. Just things like that. And the other problem with it is just burnout is real. The longer you're shouldering more than your share, the harder it is to continue. And it's just, especially if you're doing 1,000 tasks, like there's no way you can enjoy doing all those tasks. So the ones you don't enjoy are going to grow more enjoyable the more you're doing it and just kind of shouldering the entire load yourself. So this is where we're going to start talking about delegation now. See how we got there? So I understand tariffs are up, your costs are up, your margins are probably a little bit lower. You're trying to figure out how much of your cost you can pass on to customers and how much of it you can just lower yourself by doing more and taking on more yourself. And that's all good. But the thing to think about is if you're doing 1,000 different tasks, there's no way that you enjoy doing all of them. So it's figuring out which ones you enjoy and then which ones you enjoy the least or even dread each week or each month as they come up. Because those are the ones you're going to want to hand off first, I think, or figure out how to delegate or just reduce the amount of time you're doing them. And it doesn't necessarily mean like having to pay to hire like a full-time employee or a part-time employee or employees. It could be something simple like finding a software or a cloud tool or AI that can help you and just get some time back in your day. Uh, for example, we love cloud inventory systems here, so maybe it's time to retire the Google Sheet or the spreadsheet. You're spending just hours each time inventory comes in, updating your SKUs and updating your cost and making sure your COGS are accurate. It could be something simple like Zapier. Sure you've heard Patty talk about that one. But we love it here. You can use it to convert spreadsheets into invoices, set up automatic emails and email reminders, and help manage your calendar. So it could be like a simple just cloud tool like that that can save you even an hour here, an hour there, like totally worth it. And then maybe it is time to hire someone. Maybe when you have inventory come in, you like to receive it yourself, but it literally takes an entire day and you can't do anything else that day. That is what you're doing. So maybe it's hiring just some part-time help to help with that and maybe receive it into your spreadsheets. Or if you have a cloud inventory system, maybe help manage the cloud inventory system so you can focus on the parts of the job that you enjoy. The last part, I'll just share a little story. One of my clients, about a year ago, we met and talked, and they're fit the mentality to a T of they want to do everything themselves. They code all their transactions. I just kind of help prepare their financials at the end of the month. But they've been doing that forever. And then finally, this spring, I noticed they were getting pretty far behind on coding transactions, where normally they've been on top of it. And so we finally met and had a frank conversation about it. And I was like, I'm just letting you know, like, it's hard to prepare accurate financials until all this is done. And we can't really tell what your net income is or like any what your, because they've got some net income goals for the year. Like, we can't tell if you're on track for these yet. And they were just like, you know what? Like, I hate coding transactions. I've just been doing it because I've always done it. I think you're right. I think it's time we outsource this to someone else, so I don't even have to think about it anymore. And it was kind of just a weight off their back. So just kind of thinking of it that way. What parts do you enjoy the least, and get them off your plate? And you might be surprised at how good that feels. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in today as I sort of talked about tariffs. But again, I'll come up with a cool catchphrase like Patty had someday, but today is not that day.